Brooklyn Williams transferred to Riverside High halfway through the year, and let's just say she wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms. One of the only black faces in a sea of polished, privileged white kids. And when she dared to show up at prom with quiet Jamal Thompson, the school's other black student, Tyler Mitchell and his rich boy crew practically licked their lips. To them, it was the perfect opportunity to remind these outsiders of their place. But what Tyler didn't know, Brooklyn wasn't just some shy transfer trying to blend in. Back in Detroit, while these kids were still learning how to lace their designer sneakers, she'd been lacing up gloves. Since 12 years old, she'd been pounding heavy bags at Rodriguez's boxing gym. Sweat, discipline, grit. She didn't just walk into Riverside with books in her backpack. She carried years of training and the kind of fight you can't buy with daddy's money. Some kids crumble when bullied. Brooklyn, she wasn't built to fold. And soon enough, Riverside was going to find that out. Here's the suspense you didn't see coming. Just 3 days before she ever set foot in Riverside's polished hallways, Brooklyn had thrown her last punch in Detroit. 17 years old now, the rhythm of her gloves against the heavy bag was second nature. That steady power followed her into her new school. And Riverside, oh, it looked like a magazine spread. Marble floors gleaming like glass, trophy cases glowing under the perfect fluorescent lights, students dressed like catalog models. Clean, polished, picture perfect. But perfection always hides rot. The moment Brooklyn stepped inside, whispers followed her like spotlights. Conversations cut off mid-sentence. Heads turned. And before she even found her locker, the shouting started. "Come on, Thompson, fight back!" Her pulse quickened. She turned the corner, and that's when she saw it. A circle of students, phones out, recording like it was free entertainment. In the middle, a lanky black boy with glasses, Jamal, was shoved hard against the lockers by three white boys. His books were scattered across the floor, sneakers grinding pages into the tile. One title caught her eye, Advanced Calculus. Brilliant kid, treated like garbage while the crowd just watched. And that's when Brooklyn made her move. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Brooklyn didn't hesitate. She shoved through the crowd, all those cell phones swiveling to record her next move. "Back off him," she snapped, eyes blazing. The bullies turned. Their smirks spread like oil. Tyler Mitchell himself stepped forward, the smug king of Riverside, grinning like he was auditioning for some twisted reality show. "Oh, look at this," he sneered. "2-for-1 special." Can you believe the nerve? But it got worse. He circled Brooklyn like a predator sizing up prey. "Or what? You gonna file a complaint?" His smirk widened. "This is Riverside High, sweetheart. We don't take complaints from your kind." Gasps, whispers. A few kids even flinched. But Brooklyn? She didn't blink. Her voice dropped to a razor whisper. "You know exactly what I mean." That single line cracked Tyler's perfect mask. For a split second, the ugly truth slipped out of his polished face. Connor, the stocky redhead, puffed his chest like he was defending some sacred kingdom. Brad, the wrestler built like a bulldozer, stepped forward, growling. Public doesn't mean it belongs to monkeys. The words sliced the air. Even some of the white kids in the crowd shifted uncomfortably, but not one of them stepped in. Not one. Phones kept rolling like this was Netflix. Brooklyn's pulse slowed, calm as the moment before a fight. Her stance shifted, weight balanced, fists loose. Every muscle remembered those years at Rodriguez's gym. "Funny," she said flatly. "I thought this was a public school, paid for by everyone's taxes." That hit hard. The crowd reacted, but Brad wasn't done. He took another step forward, and that's when Tyler's smirk faltered. He realized this could spiral fast. "Whoa, easy," he backpedaled suddenly, softening his tone. "Just harmless fun. No harm done, right, boys?" His crew looked confused, but they obeyed, retreating slightly. Tyler smirked as he turned away, tossing the parting shot. "See you around, Jamal. Both of you. This year's gonna be interesting." The crowd broke apart, hungry for the next rumor. Phones lowered. Whispers flew. And in the middle of the wreckage stood Jamal, glasses cracked, books torn, and Brooklyn, tall over the scraps. She bent down, gathering his books. "You okay?" His voice shook. "Another black student? I thought I was the only one." "Well," Brooklyn said, "you're not alone anymore." But Jamal's haunted eyes told the truth. This was only the beginning. By the next morning, Jamal's dark circles told the real story. Brooklyn had only just arrived, but for him, This nightmare had been on repeat for 3 years. They've been at it forever, he whispered, eyes darting nervously down the hallway, gum smashed into his hair, locked closets, teachers turning their backs, and Principal Harris? Oh, he just shrugged it all off as boys being boys. Can you imagine? 3 years of torture while the adults pretended it wasn't happening. But Brooklyn didn't even get time to respond, because, like clockwork, shadows fell across the hallway. Tyler, Connor, and Brad blocking the path, smirks loaded and ready. Well, Tyler purred, leaning against the lockers like he owned the deed to the school. How was your first night in paradise, Brooklyn? Her jaw clenched. Paradise? Funny, I must have missed the palm trees. Tyler's grin stretched wider. Hope you found suitable accommodations, he said smoothly. I know housing can be challenging for people like you. People like me? She shot back. Transfers, he covered quickly, grinning like a bad politician. But Brad jumped in, laughing. Yeah, bet Detroit schools didn't prepare you for this place. Brooklyn's voice stayed cool. I'm doing just fine. That's when Connor delivered his little razor. Maybe you can tutor Jamal in street smarts, teach him how to be more authentic. What's that supposed to mean? Jamal's voice barely lifted. Oh, come on, Connor chuckled. You're so buttoned up, so proper. Maybe hanging with Brooklyn will help you embrace your heritage. Learn some urban culture. Phones came out immediately. Tyler raised his like he was filming history. Smile for the camera, Riverside's first study group. Put that away, Brooklyn snapped. It's a public space, Tyler shrugged. Say something for posterity, Jamal. Maybe rap for us. I don't rap, Jamal muttered, his face burning. Sure you do, Brad sneered, beatboxing horribly while the crowd giggled. That's when Brooklyn stepped forward, her voice sharp as a left hook. His culture is being valedictorian, while you three are repeating junior year. Ouch. Tyler's smile cracked. But then, like the snake he was, he turned it into a performance. He clapped Jamal's shoulder so hard the boy stumbled. Exactly. Top of the class, headed to Harvard. A real credit to his people. Connor piled on with the ugliest cherry. Yeah, one of the good ones. Brooklyn's fist twitched, but Jamal grabbed her arm. Don't. They want you to hit them. And when the bell rang, Tyler slid his phone into his jacket with a grin. See you around, study partners. The hallway emptied. Jamal stacked his books with shaking hands. They say the worst things, then flip it. Make us the aggressors. One more year, then I'm gone. Full scholarship, far away. But when Tyler's eyes burned into them from the back row of class, Brooklyn knew escape wasn't coming easy. Prom night arrived wrapped in glitter and fairy lights. Riverside's hotel ballroom looked like a page ripped straight from a fairy tale. Gold drapes, glowing chandeliers, tables stacked with overpriced dinners nobody touched. Brooklyn Williams glided in wearing a deep purple gown that shimmered like royalty. Jamal, in his tux, stood tall beside her, nerves hidden under a new confidence. For a moment, just a moment, it felt almost normal. Slow dancing, bad DJ jokes, the occasional awkward laugh. But predators don't rest. Tyler and his crew lingered at a distance, eyes sharp, waiting. It started at the punch table. Tyler slid in close, his cologne hitting harder than the music. You look beautiful tonight, he murmured, voice dripping poison wrapped in silk. That dress really brings out your exotic features. Can you believe he actually said that? Brooklyn's grip tightened on the ladle. Excuse me? I'm complimenting you, Tyler pressed, stepping closer, tone turning sharper. You should say thank you. Her voice rang across the room. I said no. Heads turned. Phones rose like weapons. And that's when Jamal cut in, storm in his voice. She said, don't touch her. Tyler smirked, snapping his fingers like a director calling his cast. Connor and Brad moved in, bodyguard style. Within seconds, it wasn't prom anymore. It was a stage, and everyone was filming, waiting for Brooklyn or Jamal to break. Then the tables flipped. Brad lunged for Brooklyn's phone. Reflex kicked in. One clean strike to the gut, down he went, gasping on the floor. Chaos exploded. Tyler swung wildly, but Jamal ducked and countered with precision. Connor charged, only to meet weeks of training Brooklyn had lived since age 12. For once, the bullies weren't running the show. Teachers finally stormed in, pulling them apart, but it was too late. The damage was already done. Because the footage? Oh, it spread faster than gossip ever could. Tyler Mitchell's Golden Boy mask shattered. His cruelty, captured in HD, couldn't be spun, even with his family's money. Brooklyn and Jamal didn't leave that ballroom as victims. They left as proof. Proof that silence doesn't win, that fighting back doesn't always mean fists, and that bullies only win until someone stands taller. So let me ask you, have you ever seen justice hit back this sweetly? If you want more stories that flip the script just like this one, hit subscribe and stay tuned because at Voices Unchained, the next story will shake things up even more.